Hey guys, so check it out. We're going for another walk and I'm very close to the road. You notice that? You can see the cars, but can you hear them? I don't think you can. Because I'm wearing a microphone now. So this microphone is actually attached to a little device in my pocket, and it allows me to record sound very clearly, hopefully. It's called the H1, the Zoom H1. I think it's about $100 online. I'll put the descriptions down below, but I'm finally getting into having the equipment that I want to use for my videos. I went back to my OMD EM5 camera. The lens is just the kit lens that comes with the camera. It's a 24-50, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 1250, which means it's 24-100 because there's a multiplier factor thing, whatever. And I'm using my old Gorilla Pod to hold it as a selfie, so it works out pretty well. But I also want to talk to you about the software that I'm using, because I moved from iMovie to Final Cut Pro finally. I tried to use Premiere and that was a nightmare. It's unintuitive, it's difficult to use, and it's slow. I did a test and I edited one short video. It's about 8 minutes long, final runtime. iMovie was able to process it in just about 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Final Cut Pro took about 4 minutes, but Premiere took over 45 minutes. And that's just not acceptable. I just can't deal with that. And at the same time, my computer was completely taxed during the time that it was rendering. I guess if you are just starting out and you're wondering what software you should use iMovie or Final Cut Pro. So I'm going to tell you the differences between the two. So if you want to use Premiere, that's your thing, whatever. Now, if you're on a Windows computer or Linux, then you don't have a choice to use iMovie or Final Cut Pro. So let's get those two things out of the way. But if you are on a Mac, as you should be, to do anything web-related or creative or technical, then your choices are Final Cut Pro, iMovie, Premiere. There's a few other things out there that you can make videos with. The truth is that whatever works for you is the best software to use. But if you're starting out and you want my advice, you should use Final Cut Pro, because when you compare Final Cut Pro and Premiere, it's almost like Final Cut Pro and iMovie. It's almost like iMovie is Final Cut Pro or Final Cut Lite, I guess you could say. The commands, keyboard shortcuts are all the same. It behaves the same way. Things are laid out pretty similarly. It's very Mac friendly. If you have the budget to buy Final Cut Pro, then you should just go buy it and start with that, because you'll skip the iMovie part and you won't have to learn any more things later on. Now, if you want to just get started and you already have a Mac, iMovie comes with the Mac for free. You can always start with that. What I recommend is that you learn the keyboard shortcuts. You know, learn how to move your timeline and your scrubber across the timeline, how to cut, how to delete clips, how to adjust the volume, colors, and stuff like that, because obviously that's what you need to create a video. But when you move to Final Cut Pro, the shortcuts are all the same. And I really like that. It took me a couple of weeks to get around Premiere just to be able to do that video test I talked about a few minutes ago. But last night I was able to make 3 videos with Final Cut Pro. As soon as I started using it, I knew what to do. It was pretty easy to understand. It was just great. Now it comes at a price, I believe it's $300. if you want to start off with the right software, Final Cut Pro has better features than iMovie. For example, more custom titles, more control over the actual video clips. In my case, the main reason I'm using it is so I can synchronize the sound clips. This microphone that I talked about just a minute ago, and the camera records its own sound. And then I have the sound from my recorder. So that's two sources of sound. If you want to do that, for example, with iMovie, it's a little bit difficult because you have to synchronize the sounds manually. You have to make sure they line up and then make sure they don't get out of sync as the movie goes. But what you can do with Final Cut Pro is you select the movie clip, and then you select the audio clip and you tell it to synchronize, and it automatically matches everything up, which is really, really useful, really great. That's one of the main things with Final Cut Pro. How was the ride here? Good? You know, people think that if you press that button many times, it goes faster, and that's not the case. One time, people, one time. You only need to press it one time. Oliver, put it back.
Oh, yes,
You want the what?
The skinny peppermint mocha grande.
Skinny peppermint mocha.
Yes. Coffee.
That's a mouthful.
It's up there. I feel like Christmas.
Okay. Let's see what the Christmas thing is. What do they have here? Christmas blend. No, don't open.
It's like flat white.
Yeah, can you cancel that? And then I'm gonna have a venti, snickerdoodle, hot cocoa.
Okay, so you want to take it.
With 3 shots of espresso, please.
Okay.
All right, Claire, what are you gonna show me? All right, show me.
You got my lollipop. I ate crystal tea. Underneath shine the white stuff. This tastes like vanilla.
Good?
Yeah. Try the peat now.
Hey, so check it out. Before we headed back after Starbucks, we decided to come and get some food at Albertsons to make breakfast. And I was reminded of something that happened. Look at this. In memory of Judy Fleming and John Nutting. So what happened here was that some guy, and I believe he was an ex-employee of Albertsons, or maybe an employee of Albertsons at the time. He was upset about something, and he came back to work with a samurai sword. Yeah, a samurai sword, like a samurai sword, and start hacking people up. And a lot of people were injured, and as you can see, 2 people were fatally injured, unfortunately. And the Irvine Police Department came out, and I believe fairly quickly they unloaded a few rounds on him, took him out. And that was the unfortunate start for this Albertsons store, because it was a very, very new store, maybe less than a year old or so, I think. I don't know. I'll find some of the articles and put them down below. Not to bring up such a grim topic, but I thought it would be interesting to share that. 1, 2, 3, go!